Have you ever noticed that as the years go by, mornings don't always feel the same as they used to? You wake up, stretch a little, maybe shuffle into the kitchen for your cup of coffee, and yet something feels off. The energy isn't quite there, your body feels a little slower to respond, and let's be honest, circulation, especially down there, isn't what it used to be. It's not just you. This is something I hear almost every single day from men in their 60s, 70s, and even beyond. Let me tell you about George. He's 67, a retired school principal with a warm laugh and a big heart. When he first came into my office, he said, "Doc, I just don't feel like myself anymore. I get up in the morning, but my body feels sluggish. My mind is foggy, and in the area of intimacy, well, things aren't firing like they used to. I love my wife, but I don't feel as strong or confident as I once did." George is not alone. That's when I, Dr. Nolan Easton, shared something with him that I've shared with thousands of men over my 30-plus years as a men's health specialist. A simple morning change, something so easy that anyone can do it, can actually boost circulation, increase energy, and even improve confidence in the bedroom. And no, it's not a pill or a complicated routine. It starts with what you put in your body when you wake up. Now, before I tell you what that is, I want you to picture something. Imagine your body as a hose. When you're young, that hose is strong, the water flows fast, and everything works perfectly. But as time passes, little by little, the hose stiffens, blockages appear, and the flow isn't as strong. That's exactly what happens inside your blood vessels. The good news? Nature has given us foods, simple foods, that work like a gentle flush, clearing and opening those pipes, making circulation smoother and stronger, especially where men need it most. The food I'm talking about is often overlooked. Most men rush for bacon, toast, or sugary cereal in the morning. But those choices are like pouring sludge into your system. They clog you up, slow you down, and drain your vitality. Instead, if you start your morning with the right circulation-boosting food, you're giving your body the fuel it needs to deliver oxygen, blood flow, and energy everywhere it's needed, even to the most private areas of your health. When George began this morning change, he called me 2 weeks later. His voice had a spark I hadn't heard before. He said, "Doc, I just don't feel like myself anymore. I get up in the morning, but my body feels sluggish. My mind is foggy. And in the area of intimacy, well, things aren't firing like they used to. I love my wife, but I don't feel as strong or confident as I once did." George is not alone. Here's what I want you to understand. Every bite you take in the morning sets the tone for your circulation the entire day. If you fill your system with heavy, processed foods, you're tightening those blood vessels before your day even begins. But if you choose circulation-friendly foods, you're actually relaxing and expanding those vessels, encouraging better flow everywhere, including down there. That means more energy, more confidence, and yes, stronger performance. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, "Doc, at my age, is it even possible to make real changes?" Let me tell you, it absolutely is. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even in their 80s turn things around with just this one morning shift. It doesn't require expensive treatments, and it's not about depriving yourself of joy. It's about making a smart, intentional choice that gives your body what it's been craving for years. And while I'll be walking you through exactly what to eat and why in this video, I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself this. Do you believe your mornings could feel better? Could you imagine waking up feeling lighter, stronger, and more confident in your own skin again? If your answer is yes, then you're in the right place. Before I continue, I want to ask something small of you. If you're finding this message speaks to you, even just a little, go ahead and tap that like button below. It helps this video reach more men who need it. And please subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on future advice tailored for men over 60. Most importantly, leave me a simple yes or no in the comments. I personally go through them because your answers help me shape future advice that truly serves you. Back to George for a moment. The change he made wasn't about turning his life upside down. He didn't suddenly become a marathon runner or take up bodybuilding. It was about something far simpler, something he could stick to every single morning. And that's what makes this so powerful. Consistency beats intensity every time, especially at our stage of life. I'll never forget the way George described it. "Doc, I feel like I've woken up from a long nap. It's like the lights are back on." That's the power of giving your body the right fuel to improve circulation where it matters most. When your blood vessels open up, oxygen flows more freely, your energy rises, and your vitality comes back to life. And let's be honest, our loved ones notice it too. A man with energy and confidence radiates warmth, and that strengthens every relationship he has.
When George first started making this morning change, he was skeptical. He'd spent decades starting his day with the same routine. 2 slices of toast, little butter, maybe bacon on the side, and always coffee. To him, it was comforting, familiar, and part of what made mornings feel complete. So when I told him to swap it out for something different, something his body would actually use to open up his blood vessels and increase circulation, he frowned and said, "Doc, you're telling me after all these years I've been starting my mornings wrong?" I smiled and told him, "George, it's not about wrong, it's about better." And that's the truth. At our age, it's not about perfection. It's about small, smart changes that create the biggest impact. So, what is it that men over 60 should be reaching for in the morning? I'll tell you. It's foods rich in natural compounds called nitrates and antioxidants. Now, don't let the words confuse you. Think of nitrates as nature's little helpers. When you eat them, your body turns them into nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is like the secret sauce for circulation. It relaxes your blood vessels, allowing them to open wider so blood flows more easily everywhere it needs to go, even to those intimate areas that many men worry about losing strength in. One of the simplest and most effective foods you can eat in the morning for this very purpose is fresh fruit, especially berries and citrus. Strawberries, blueberries, and oranges are loaded with antioxidants that protect your blood vessels from stiffening. They act like little shields, keeping your circulation smooth and flexible. Add them to your morning routine, and you'll be surprised at how much lighter and more awake you feel. But the real star of the show, the food I told George to start his mornings with, was something many men overlook: beets. Yes, beets. They're rich in natural nitrates, which your body quickly converts into nitric oxide and sending a surge of better flow throughout your entire system. George wrinkled his nose at first. Beets for breakfast? But once he started blending a small beet into his morning smoothie with an apple and some berries, he actually loved it. Within just a couple of weeks, George noticed a difference. He wasn't winded walking up the stairs, he didn't feel that heavy sluggishness after breakfast, and in his words, "Down there, things are working better than they have in years." That wasn't magic, it was circulation at work. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, "Doc, I don't want to start juicing beets or turning my kitchen into a health food store." That's perfectly fine. This doesn't have to be complicated. Even adding a half cup of berries to your oatmeal or a small glass of beet juice with breakfast is enough to nudge of circulation in the right direction. And when you repeat that choice every morning, day after day, it adds up to big results. Another option I often recommend to men is a handful of walnuts or almonds in the morning. These nuts are rich in arginine, another nutrient your body uses to make nitric oxide. Together with beets, berries, or citrus, you're giving your blood vessels a triple boost, relaxing, protecting, and opening them for better flow. Think of it as starting your day with a clean, wide-open pathway for your blood to move freely. George's wife noticed before he did. She told him one evening, "You're smiling more. You've got more spark in your step." And that's something I hear often from couples. When a man takes steps to improve his circulation, it doesn't just benefit him, it brings new life to his marriage, his energy for hobbies, even his patience with his grandchildren. That's because good circulation is the foundation of vitality. Here's the mistake too many men make. They wait until things are really bad before they make a change. They wait until fatigue, weakness, or intimacy issues are so obvious they can't ignore them. But the truth is, small changes now prevent big problems later. Eating circulation-boosting foods in the morning is like giving your body a head start before the day even begins. It's like oiling the hinges before the door starts squeaking. And I want to pause here and ask you something important. When you wake up in the morning, do you feel full of life and energy, or do you feel heavy, tired, and slow to get moving? If you said heavy or tired, then this message is meant for you. These small changes could be the difference between dragging through the day and truly enjoying it. If this message makes sense to you, let me know by pressing that like button below. And if you haven't already, subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss future advice that could change your mornings for the better. Most importantly, leave me a simple yes or no in the comments. Do you believe your mornings could feel better with the right food choices? I'll be reading through your answers personally because your feedback helps me guide future advice directly for men like you. When George came back for his follow-up appointment, he was practically glowing. He sat down in my office and said, "Doc, I don't know why no one ever told me this before. Something so simple has made such a difference." That's the beauty of it. We don't need to overcomplicate health. Often the answers are right there in front of us, in the produce section of the grocery store, in the simple foods our grandparents ate. And the thing is, circulation isn't just about intimacy, though that's often the most motivating factor for men. It's also about protecting your heart, keeping your brain sharp, and giving you the energy to live fully every day. When you eat circulation-friendly foods in the morning, you're investing not just in your private health, but in your whole life, your relationships, your memory, your strength, and your independence. George is now an advocate in his own right. He tells his buddies at the golf course, "Skip the donuts, try a beet smoothie instead." They laugh at him at first, but when they see the change in his energy and spirit, they start asking questions. And that's how this message spreads. One man at a time, deciding to take back control of his mornings and his vitality. When I think back on George's story, what stands out isn't just the physical change, it's the emotional one. He walked into my office months ago looking drained, almost defeated, as if he had quietly accepted that the best days of his body were behind him. But when he came back after making that small morning change, he carried himself differently. His shoulders were back, his eyes were brighter, and even the way he spoke carried more confidence. That's the power of circulation. When your blood is flowing the way it should, your whole life feels lighter. And George is just one of many men I've seen experience this. Let me tell you about another patient of mine, Samuel. He's 72, a retired bus driver. Samuel told me he used to fall asleep after breakfast almost every day. His wife would find him nodding off in his recliner, coffee cup half full on the table. He thought it was just age catching up to him, but really it was the way he was fueling his mornings. Samuel started his day with sugary cereal and white bread, which spiked his blood sugar and then sent him crashing down. That crash was robbing him of energy, and over time, making his circulation worse. I explained to Samuel what I want you to remember. Your body at 70 still responds to what you give it, just as it did at 30. If you feed it foods that clog and stiffen, it slows down. But if you feed it foods that open and energize, it thanks you with strength. Samuel was skeptical at first, but he agreed to try the same shift I had George make: fruits, nuts, and beets in the morning. And in less than a month, he was calling me saying, "Doc, I didn't need my nap this morning. I actually had enough energy to help my grandson fix his bike." That's the kind of change that touches every part of life. Now, some men worry that at their age, changes won't matter. They say, "Doc, my blood vessels are already too far gone." I want to reassure you that's not true. Science has shown that your blood vessels remain flexible well into old age, as long as you give them the right fuel. Every time you eat a circulation-boosting food, you're sending your body the message, open up, flow freely, and stay strong. It doesn't take years to notice either. Many men, like George and Samuel, begin to feel it within weeks.
This is why I encourage my patients to view their morning plate like a prescription pad. Instead of pills, your breakfast is your medicine. Imagine you could choose between starting your day with food that clogs your arteries or food that literally helps them open and relax. The choice is right there, every single morning, in your hands. I often remind men that circulation is not just about intimacy, though I know that's the part that motivates many of you most. It's about your whole body, your brain, your heart, your legs, your energy. Poor circulation makes your memory fuzzy, your muscles weak, and your energy low. Good circulation sharpens your thinking, strengthens your stride, and keeps your confidence high. So when you commit to that morning change, you're not just helping one part of your life, you're helping all of it. And here's something else to consider. Men who start their day with circulation-friendly foods often notice improvements in mood as well. Why? Because better blood flow means more oxygen reaching your brain. More oxygen means clearer thinking and more stable energy, which naturally lifts your spirit. You don't just feel stronger, you feel more positive, more optimistic. And isn't that what we all want as we age? Not just more years, but better years. Now, I want to ask you again, just as I ask my patients, do you believe you still have room to feel better, stronger, and more alive than you do right now? If that answer is yes, let me know in the comments. A simple yes or no is all it takes. I'll be reading your responses, and they help me know exactly how to guide you in future advice. And while you're here, remember to tap that like button if this is striking a chord with you, and subscribe with the bell icon so you don't miss out on practical, life-changing tips like this. Samuel told me something that stuck with me. He said, "Doc, I thought slowing down was just part of aging, but it turns out I was feeding the problem without knowing it. Once I made the change, it felt like I added 5 good years back to my life." That's powerful, isn't it? Just imagine how different life feels when you wake up and your body actually wants to move. Your mind feels clear, and intimacy no longer feels out of reach. For men in their 60s and 70s, this shift isn't about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming control. It's about saying, I may be older, but I'm not finished. I still want energy for my family, strength for my passions, and vitality in my marriage. And I promise you, those things are still possible.
George once told me, "Doc, the best part of this whole change isn't just that my body feels stronger, it's that I feel like myself again." That right there is the heart of this message. It's not about chasing youth, it's about reclaiming vitality, confidence, and joy at a stage of life when many men believe those things are gone for good. And it all begins with what you put on your plate in the morning. When you choose foods that support circulation like beets, berries, citrus, and a handful of nuts, you're sending your body the strongest message possible. Keep flowing, keep opening, keep living fully. It's such a simple choice, yet the benefits ripple into every corner of your life. Better energy means you can get out for a walk without feeling exhausted. Stronger circulation means intimacy can feel natural again, not like a struggle. And clearer thinking means you can keep up with conversations, enjoy hobbies, and feel present with your loved ones. I remember one afternoon when George came in for a checkup months after starting this morning habit. He told me his grandkids had been begging him to join them for a game of tag in the yard. Before, he would have waved them off, too tired and too stiff to keep up. But this time, he actually said yes. He laughed as he told me, "Doc, I wasn't the fastest one out there, but I wasn't sitting on the porch watching anymore. I was in the game." That's what this is really about, being in the game of life, not watching from the sidelines. And then there was Samuel, the bus driver I told you about. His wife later pulled me aside and said, "You gave me my husband back. He smiles more, he talks more, and he doesn't spend his mornings half asleep anymore." These stories are powerful reminders that when men make the choice to care for their circulation, it doesn't just change their health, it changes the lives of the people they love most. I want you to think back for a moment to how your mornings feel right now. Do you wake up with energy? Do you feel clear and ready for the day? Or do you find yourself dragging, stiff, and slow to get going? The beauty of this change is that it doesn't require a complete overhaul. You don't need to turn your diet upside down or spend hours cooking complicated meals. All it takes is starting your day with one simple, smart choice. Add a small beet to your smoothie. Eat a cup of berries. Peel an orange. Grab a handful of walnuts. That's it. And when you do it day after day, your body rewards you in ways you'll feel from head to toe. Too many men wait until it's too late to start. They wait until fatigue feels permanent, until their energy is gone, or until intimacy becomes impossible. But you don't have to wait. You can start now. You can take control of your mornings and give your body what it needs to keep going strong. It's never too late to send your body the right message. And here's something I want you to really hold on to. Circulation is life. As long as your blood is flowing well, every part of your body, your heart, your brain, your muscles, and even your manhood has a chance to stay strong. When you wake up tomorrow morning, remember that your breakfast isn't just a meal, it's a decision. A decision that can bring you more energy, more clarity, more intimacy, and more life. I'd like to ask you, as I do with all my patients, to take this advice seriously and make it your own. And if what I've shared today resonates with you, please show your support by pressing that like button below. It lets me know you value this guidance, and it helps this message reach other men who need it. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you don't miss future advice designed especially for men over 60. And finally, leave me a simple yes or no in the comments. Do you believe your mornings could improve with the right food choice? I read through your answers personally, and they guide me in shaping future advice just for you. George and Samuel both started where you are, tired, doubtful, and unsure if change was possible. Now they live with more confidence, more energy, and more joy. And if they can do it, so can you. Imagine yourself a few weeks from now, waking up feeling lighter, stronger, and more alive. Imagine sharing that spark with your family, your partner, and your friends. That's the gift you give yourself when you decide to fuel your mornings the right way. So here's my final word for you. Don't settle for mornings that drain you. Don't believe the lie that it's too late. You still have the power to open up your circulation, restore your vitality, and enjoy the fullness of life. Start tomorrow morning with one small change. Eat the foods that give you life, and watch how life flows back into you.